From JFK to 9/11, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories are everywhere. And over the last few years, it seemed that conspiracy theories are more popular than ever, and conspiracy theorists absolutely lose their absolute shit when anything happens in the world. But no one ever seems to talk about conspiracy theories that come from Australia. So are there any from this great nation? Yes, because I've done the hardcore research to give you the most up-to-date information about weird goings on. And I put on my best flannel to do so. So here we bloody go. Number 5. The Tasmanian Tiger is still alive. The last known Tasmanian tiger died out in 1936 in a Hobart Zoo. The thylacine, as it's also known, was hunted by the people who moved into those lands. This weird dog, tiger, fox-looking creature still has a lot of sightings across the landscape of Australia. In fact, even me, one night I was driving home from Sydney to Newcastle, which is about a 2-hour drive, and halfway along the trip I saw this very skinny dog run out from the road across the highway and in front of me. It was very fucking weird and I didn't know what happened. Was it a thylacine? Fuck if I know. The thing is, the Australian bush is so vast and so dense, it could be hiding out anywhere. But the thing is, all the evidence that people put forward is always one thing: blurry as fuck. As you can see here, blurry as fuck. As you can also see here, blurry as fuck. And this one, what the fuck is that? So were the thylacines, the Tasmanian tigers, hunted to extinction, or do they still exist today? The answer to that question is, I don't know. But people see other things too. The Black Panthers of the Australian bush is something that people talk about all the bloody time. In fact, if you talk to anyone who lives near the bush, particularly in the east coast of New South Wales, chances are they may have seen something a little bit interesting when it comes to big cats living in the bush. And I know it sounds ridiculous. How would these animals have even made it to Australia? Well, in the 19th century, the exotic animal trade in Sydney alone was quite large. People were buying bear cubs, they were buying lions and tigers, and even panthers. So maybe this isn't as out there as one would think. But by far the most creepy and strange conspiracy when it comes to strange animal sightings is of the Yowie. The Yowie is an ancient Aboriginal folklore piece which still terrifies people to this day, and we still have people hunting this giant 2 to 3 metre tall hairy creature. And yes, I'm very aware that I'm a 2 metre hairy creature, and I tell you what, if the Australian Bigfoot the Yowie looks anything like me, that is one motherfucking lucky individual. But the thing is, once again, the evidence is not that strong. We see a few paw prints or handprints or whatever you want to call them, but there's no dead bodies, there's no carcasses. So do these animals exist in the Australian bush? Maybe. Who the bloody hell knows? Have you had any experiences? Let me know in the comment section below. Number 4, Australian hieroglyphics. Now when I first read this, I thought this was absolutely batshit. But when I had a look a little bit deeper into it, it sounded very interesting. You see, in the early 1900s, there was a strange wall that was discovered just north of Sydney, and on that wall was very, when I think about it, terrifying markings, because they were all Egyptian hieroglyphs. What the fucking fuck? Many people have called this an absolute hoax, but this 15-metre long hieroglyphic wall is touted by many as an example of ancient Egyptians making the journey all the way to Australia and venturing through the land. According to someone who has studied the markings in depth, it is the burial site of an Egyptian lord. He believes that the Egyptians who made the journey all the way to Australia had lost one of the integral parts of their party and decided to bury him right there near Gosford. And this wall, this carvings, whatever you want to call it, marks the exact spot in which he was buried. Other people say nearby hides Egyptian gold, and this all sounds absolutely ridiculous, but in 1982 in Egypt they found marsupial fossils like kangaroos. So maybe the Egyptians did come here 5,000 years ago and take some kangaroos back. Perhaps, or maybe it's a hoax. Do I know? Of course I fucking don't. I've just read it on the internet. Like every conspiracy theorist. Number 3, Australia's Area 51. Pine Gap is a top secret army base that is based in the top end of Australia, just outside of Alice Springs. But don't go anywhere fucking near it or you'll get shot, alright? It's super top secret, yeah? It's the Australian military and the American military, and they've basically just said, listen, this is fucking top secret, mate, you stay the fuck away, alright? That's what they're saying. Don't come anywhere near our domes, they're our domes, you piss off, alright? There's even some rooms in this Area 51 of Australia where Australians can't go. It's for Americans only. That's fucking rude, mate. It said on the 22nd of December in 1989, 3 men were walking home after a hunting trip in the area and they saw right next to the base a secret door open and a flying ring saucer looking thing come out of the ground and then shoot into the air at top speed. Now, is that bullshit? Were they on the piss? Were they fucking off their heads? Probably. But if not, that's some full-on shit. Some people say that the mountains nearby are just holograms and underneath is a massive base that thousands of people work. In fact, some of the base is dedicated to time warps, and even some super soldiers from Mars are sent back from the future to Pine Gap to fight in current wars. There's a lot of weird shit being said about Pine Gap, and it freaks me the fuck out. Infamously, Edward Snowden released documents about Pine Gap, which led to his arrest. But let's not talk about that for obvious reasons. If you're watching this from outside of the country of Australia, Pine Gap is the home to our kangaroo overlords. Please help us. Help. Number 2, the disappearance of Harold Holt. As far as conspiracy theories goes, this one affected the nation of Australia more than any other. On the 17th of December 1967, then Prime Minister Harold Holt went out at the beach just for a swim like he had done many times before and then was never seen again. This was unprecedented. We'd never had an Australian Prime Minister go missing. I mean, I don't know if any other countries have even had such a horrific tragedy take place. I mean, obviously there's JFK and there's several other world leaders that have been assassinated, but for one just to go missing and the body never found, that is incredible. Some people believe that he was a Chinese spy and he was hiding secrets of the great country of Australia and he just jumped in the ocean, swam out to a Chinese sub and pissed off to Beijing. And I don't know what he did there, just enjoyed himself, the culture and the food, it's delicious, and told him all the secrets about the Pine Gap base and fucking Yowies and shit. I don't know, what secrets does Australia have? Honestly, who gives a fuck what we're doing? We're just chilling out. Fucking sinking tinnies at the beach. That's pretty much it. Other people said it was a suicide. Others said it was an assassination. Maybe the dude just drowned. Apparently it was very rough seas that day. Maybe he just unfortunately died in the prime of his life. Maybe, we will never know. But now that I think about it, he's not the only Australian Prime Minister that's gone missing recently. I mean, what the fuck happened to Tony Abbott? He was the Prime Minister one day, then he fucking disappeared. Malcolm Turnbull, he did the same fucking thing. Australia, the thing is, if you're not from Australia, the Prime Minister's here, they're a dime and a dozen. You know, they just turn up for a bit and then they just fuck off, alright? They're all fucking cocksuckers, honestly. And the number 1 conspiracy in Australian history is that Australia's not real. Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's not real. It is not fucking real. It does not exist. It isn't real.
I can't believe I'm talking about this bullshit again, right? This was massive news about a year ago. Australia's not real. It's a hoax made up for us to believe that Britain moved over their criminals to some place. In reality, all these criminals were loaded off the ships into the waters, drowning before they could see land ever again. It's a cover-up. One of the greatest mass murders in history. Some dickhead a year ago said that the convicts that came out of Australia weren't even real and the British dumped them off at sea in some mass murder and the Australian colony doesn't exist. And there was all these flat earthers talking about, oh no, it's not real, it couldn't be real, the flat earth just fucks off over a big fucking cliff after that. You go over the falls and you disappear into nothing or space or whatever you fucking idiots believe. Point being, Australia is very real. Even people say that Australians are just all actors. Have you seen the Australian film industry? It's fucking terrible. How would you ever believe those actors? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different. Let me know what you thought down below. And if you didn't think anything, leave it a like. Yeah, good fucking on ya. Make sure you subscribe. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Mid extinct, and I'll see you all very soon. Ta-ta. Farewell, goodbye, au revoir.